Hi, and welcome to day 2 of section 5.5, multiple angle and product to sum formulas. Today we're going to talk about the product to sum formulas. From your formula sheet, we're going to be working with these two sets of formulas. Let's go ahead and look at our first example. It asks us to rewrite the product. This is a product, and we want to write it as a sum or a difference. We are going from product to sum. And we have cosine and sine. From our formula worksheet, I'm going from a product to a sum. It's going to be in this column, and I have cosine and sine, and this is the formula that I need to know. What I like to do when I'm working the example then is to write this down and have that as a reference. And there it is. Looking up here, hopefully you can see that u is equal to 5x and v is equal to 4x. Now it's just a matter of plugging in those values and working from there. I have cosine, u is 5x, sine, v is 4x, equals 1/2, put my parentheses here, sine of u plus v. Once again, u is 5x, v is 4x, minus the sine of u minus v, and once again, u is 5x, and v is 4x. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this, and I'm going to combine two steps. I'm going to combine my like terms and distribute the 1/2 to each of my terms to end up with 1/2 sine of 9x minus 1/2 sine of x. And all they asked you to do was rewrite the product as a sum or difference, and I have done that, and so my problem is complete. Let's go ahead and look at one more example. And this one asks me to find the exact value of the sine of 195 minus the sine of 105. Notice that here I have a difference, so I am going to want to go from a difference to a product because these are not on my unit circle. And in order to get the exact value, I have to have something on my unit circle. So I'm hoping that when I take this difference formula and make it a sum formula, that these values will be on my unit circle. Let's rewrite. I have the sine of 195 minus the sine of 105. Notice that u is equal to 195 and v is equal to 105. So that makes this equal to 2 times the cosine. I have 195 plus 105 over 2 times the sine of 195 minus 105, also over 2. And now it's just a matter of combining some like terms and finding out what the cosine of a particular angle is. I end up with 2 times the cosine. 195 plus 105 gives me 300 over 2 times the sine. I get 90 over 2. Rewriting one more time, I get 2 cosine 150 degrees sine of 45 degrees. So just like I hoped, these two values, these two angles, are on my unit circle. Now I can substitute the cosine of 150 degrees and the sine of 45 degrees to get my final answer. I have 2 And remember that the cosine of 150 is going to be negative root 3 over 2. And the sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Just this plain multiplication problem, my 2's will cancel. And when I go ahead and finish up my multiplication, I get negative root 6 over 2. I have found the exact value of sine 195 minus the sine of 105. This completes our video for today, so please note any questions that you might have and bring them to class tomorrow. Thank you.